So why would the conquest of Taiwan have such an impact on Japan?
It breaks the first island chain. First island chain is the one of the terms that we use in regional security discussions to say this is the chain that we use to deter China, to keep it from its China dream. And it's a good thing to keep it from its China dream, because that dream is basically a Sino-fascist, expansionist way of taking control, becoming the regional hegemon and ultimately the global hegemon. So the first island chain is key to that. You take Taiwan, and suddenly Taiwan, as I lay out in the first several pages of the paper, Taiwan then becomes the base for the People's Liberation Army ballistic submarines that will fire nuclear weapons, fires nuclear missiles. It becomes the base for those aircraft that are used to subjugate, not necessarily bomb, but just intimidate the Philippines enough to make them abrogate the Philippine or the treaty, the mutual defense treaty with the United States. It gives China the upper hand that it needs to get South Korea to do the same thing, to abrogate that treaty, because the impression will be the U.S. can no longer defend our allies and our friends in the region. And so ultimately, Taiwan falls, Japan becomes militarily isolated. It cannot defend its fishing fleets. It cannot defend its offshore resource extraction industries. It cannot defend its own shipping and the oil, the energy that it needs shipped through the South China Sea, and just about any other line of communication or avenue of approach to Japan, because China and the People's Liberation Army, Navy, and Air Force will dominate those areas. And to get through, any vessel, any ship will need the permission of the Politburo in Beijing, not Tokyo. They will no longer be international waterways and airways.
And as you mentioned, it would be a devastating blow to the United States' prestige that it would not be able to protect any country from the Chinese Communist Party, the fall of Taiwan, that is.
By 2040, the United States, and again, this is CSBA, very good analysis, but also my analysis as well. By 2040, under these circumstances, if Japan and the U.S. don't get significantly better at countering China's political warfare, then effectively our operational forces are out of Japan. The bases that we had dedicated to U.S. forces Korea and combined forces Korea will now be staging areas for the PLA, basically Pohang, Osan, the airfield, the ports, places where the PLA Navy, PLA Air Force can just stop off, refuel, get ready to go on patrols with their Russian allies, treaty allies by that point, because you've seen what's been going on between Russia and China in terms of massive expansion of military exercises, massive expansion of cooperation on the defense and security sphere. Well, you can expect that by 2040 there will be a defense treaty between the two of them. And again, that isolates Japan, and that's all part of the chain reaction related to Taiwan falling, Chris, that you asked about.